any credits.
Hello there.
Thanks to the training I received in the Empire, I have all the skills I need to make it in the real world.
Chasing rebel scum, killing Luke's aunt and uncle, telling people to move along. The Empire.
Hello there.
Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids. Hi, I'm Darth Harrington of Darth Harrington's Intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids Emporium and Moonbase. Due to a garbled subspace transmission, I am currently overstocked on all intergalactic proton-powered electrical tentacled advertising droids, and I am passing the savings on to you!
Incoming transponder code received. Classification: fire spray. Designation: Darth Asylum. Captain: unknown. Port: unknown. Weapons profile: unknown. Designation: Darth Asylum. Incoming transponder received. Classification: fire spray. Designation: Darth Asylum. Captain: unknown. Port: unknown. Weapons profile: unknown. Designation: Darth Asylum.
And here we go.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. And here we go.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, you awesomely beautiful people of the galaxy, and welcome again to another episode of the Darth Asylum podcast. This is episode 9. Yes, episode 9. I am your host of Darth Asylum, broadcasting live from hyperspace, and we are back, and it is another Wednesday. So yes, we are back. It is episode 9 of the podcast. So, again, I hope you guys are all having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. But yes, we are back. It is Wednesday, and we are officially 9 episodes deep into the podcast. Yes. So that means that we are actually watching tonight the last official episode of the Skywalker saga. Yes, we are going to be watching The Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars Episode 9. And I did confirm it that is the official ending to the Skywalker saga, meaning the scope of the Skywalker legacy, adventures, whatever you want to call it, is actually ending in this movie. Yes. So, does it? What is acting weird again? Oh. There it is. That should be it. Thank you. Let me know, but thank you for letting me know. Shouldn't. We'll cancel all that out anyway, because OBS just did an update also, so just came back perfect again. Yes. So let us take a minute and recognize the legends that are among us real quick in the chat. But yes, man, thank you for coming in on the YouTube side. I hope you're still there, and I hope you're having a great and safe week. On the Twitch side, we have Hunter, we have Nothing, we have Shadow. But yes, that is the perfect time to get your snacks, get your drinks, basically get ready, because we are going to be watching Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Yes. Attacked by a meteor? Probably. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens that honestly I never pay attention to be fair. But before, let me at least queue up the Wikipedia. Of ads on every page. Ads on every page. Okay. Now that we officially got that done. Oh, you know what? I also want to do is well, I'll do that next time since we got to get going anyway. But just a quick footnote though, however, with the giveaway, I'm still committed to doing the giveaway between where I sit right now with follows and getting up to the 1K Twitch follower mark. However, I am going to make a slight change to it that I actually realized, I think it was actually today. That's why I just barely did it right now, was I thought about it and was like, wait a minute, if I'm going to give out a copy of Dead by Daylight, Battlefield 6, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, I was like, then that kind of limits like the type of games people should or could actually play. So basically saying, if those are the only games I'm giving away, then it's like not everybody plays those. So, that's kind of being a little limited. So then I was like, well, wait a minute, why don't I just give away 3 games on any platform of your choice and call it good, and do the same thing if I can hit that goal between now and say summertime. So that's the change, is ultimately if I can hit that 1K follow mark on Twitch, I will be giving away 3 games, potentially 4 of your choice. That way, you're guaranteed to get what you want just because you guys are all awesome. So, having said that, I updated the little marker over there just to say that. And then ultimately, like I said, the 4th game won't be directly Arc Raiders, but it is going to be any game that you choose on any platform, depending on whatever it is you play. So that is going to be the solid. Any 3, exactly nothing. So like any 3 games on any platform, yes. So basically, it'll be a giveaway. You must be present to win. And I already tested out how the giveaway is going to work. So you basically must be in chat. So you must be watching the stream. There is a like kind of like a roulette thing that you can use through Twitch that actually works right. And basically, you would do something simple as like I would give the cue and say, okay, guys, you have like X amount of time, and then you would, or you have like 10 seconds, and you would plug in like giveaway or enter or something like that. I think is how I said it. Yeah, it's like, it's something like that where it's like it's a certain keyword. So like, if nothing, plug in like exclamation enter, that would give you 1 entry, right? And so anybody in chat basically would plug in enter, so that would be your entry, and then I would do the random generator, and I'll do it on stream too, so that way you can actually see, you know, who's on the list of potential winners, and also who ends up winning it. So that way everything is fair, everything's up front, and yeah, ultimately, rather than just stick with specific games and say, well, these are the only games you can play, it could be any game you want. It could be an older game that you've always wanted. It could be a brand new game. Either way, it's going to be a copy of 3 games. So we'll work out the details. But thank you, nothing. No, again, that's the whole point, is like, just because of the generosity and the support of everybody that has been a part of the channel and the streams, and just all you guys being the awesome legends that you always are, I want to make sure I give something back that's going to be super awesome as a gift to you guys again, as always. So, yes. But again, that's only if I can hit that mark also. So, thank you, Wolf. I appreciate that, man. Yes, this is Boba Fett's helmet, actually. It's repainted. I fixed some things. I changed like the sorry, you can't really see because the green screen's acting weird, but I adjusted the antenna, filled in the hole over here, that kind of thing, repainted it, changed the visor so it's all, you know, like, you know, you can't see through, that kind of thing. But no, thank you very much for, man. Yes. But yes, I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi. I stream both on Twitch and YouTube. So welcome in. Great to see you. Thank you for that sub, by the way. 1 game for 3 people? No. 1 game per person. So three games to be given away, potentially 4 if I can hit that goal between now and say summertime. So yeah, it's either way, it's going to be 3 games regardless of hitting that milestone. But also it'll be a 4th game as kind of a side quest if I can hit that goal. But no, that's but thank you again, Wolf. Yes, I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi. I dual stream both on Twitch and YouTube. My stream days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm usually trying to aim around 12 midnight my time. That is Pacific West Coast time. Wednesday night I do a podcast where it's more of an interactive talk and chat, where we can't stream movies, but we can also watch them together from start to finish, talk during it, that kind of thing. Just hang out, chill, chat. All that good fun stuff. Please let the floodgates open. We just actually tonight are going to finish up the entire Skywalker saga, which means Star Wars episodes 1 through 9. We've watched every single one, 1 through 8 so far, uncut, unstopped. So basically we'll start the movie. That's what the timer is over there. That's the timestamp for everything. So that's the point of the Wednesday night podcast. Thursday night I do a Let's Play. So right now I'm playing a first playthrough of Dark Souls Remastered. Friday night is going to be kind of more of a mix-up day. Same thing with Saturday. And Sunday nights I'm typically playing Dead by Daylight. But Star Wars Battlefront 2, nice, because I normally stream that Saturday nights, actually. I'm on PC, by the way. But yeah, Friday nights I have been doing Battlefield 6, but lately I kind of changed it up a little bit, got back into MMOs again, so I've been doing a little bit of Warcraft, Fallout 76, that kind of thing. Mad, what's going on, man? Nothing. So, the way it's going to work is 3 people are going to win, and each one of those people are going to get a game of their choice. So 3 winners, 3 games. So not 1 winner, 3 games. It's 1 game per winner with 3 winners, potentially having a 4th if I can meet those goals. I know. This year has definitely been a run and gun. So, all right, guys, I am going to jump in and do the Wikipedia entry for this game. I got games on the mind. Nope. For this movie we're about to watch. Nothing. It's perfectly fine. It's been a long day for all of us. I just barely got going, and it's like 1 a.m. for me. So, yes. But yes, again, we are watching Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. After this movie, starting next week, next Wednesday for the podcast, we are going to watch Solo, A Star Wars Story. And then the week after that is going to actually be Andor's, Andor, Season 1 and 2. We're going to watch. And then after that one's done, oh, it does work. I just turned off the volume. So there's no feedback. That's why. Yeah. So I was like, wait a minute, why can't I hear anything? It's because I shut some other things off. But yes, so right now, tonight's episode 9. And then next week will be Solo, A Star Wars Story. And then the week after that, we're going to start watching Andor Season 1 and 2. And then after Andor is completed, we'll watch Rogue One to complete that entire series off. So really exciting. Super stoked to be doing the podcast. And I upload all the podcasts to iHeartRadio and Spotify. So they are on there if you watch or listen to podcasts there. Interesting note, though, however, was episode 5 for me was not loading on Spotify, and I couldn't figure out why. So, like, it would load, and I would upload it, but then after, like, a couple of days, it would just go away. And then, like, I would reload it, and then it would show up, and then it would go away until finally they sent me a thing saying that they were deleting even though the podcast was published for episode 5, it had... it was copyrighted for a little segment that was at the end of the podcast when we were watching a bunch of trailers for stuff. And not only trailers, but some YouTube videos and things like that that were Star Wars related. So I actually had to edit that part out and then just re-upload the podcast. So now episode 5 is finally on Spotify again, and it's on iHeartRadio, but it's basically just the podcast without the extra ending part to it with all the trailers and stuff we were watching, because that's what got flagged on it. And I was like, why isn't this staying? Because every other podcast we did was fine except for that one, but that's why. So it's okay. All right, so we're going to get through the beginning, or the Wikipedia entry, because Wikipedia is the only pedia that I trust, because these guys probably definitely know their stuff. So, having said that, it says, the saga will end, the story lives forever. That was the final trailer. So Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, marketed as Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, is a 2019 film directed by J.J. Abrams from a script by Abrams and Chris Terrio. It is the third and final part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The film, produced by Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, is a continuation of 2015's The Force Awakens, which Abrams also directed and co-wrote, and 2017's The Last Jedi. Lucasfilm has referred to The Rise of Skywalker as the 9th and final installment of the Skywalker saga. The film stars Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Naomi Ackie, Domhnall Gleeson, Richard E. Grant, Lupita Nyong'o, Kerry Russell, Juna Suotamo, Kelly Marie Tran, and Ian McDermott, and Billy D. Williams. Fisher, who passed away in 2016 prior to the film's production, appeared via unused footage from The Force Awakens. The film was first announced after the Walt Disney Company acquired Lucasfilm Limited in 2012. Colin Trevorrow was initially announced as the director and writer of the film, but he and Lucasfilm parted ways in September 2017, with Lucasfilm citing creative differences over the project. On September 12, 2017, Abrams and Terrio were announced as the new director and writers. Principal photography began in 2018 and filming wrapped in 2019. Footage from The Rise of Skywalker was first made public on April 12, 2019 at Celebration Chicago. The film was released on December 20th, 2019. It received mixed reviews from critics. The Rise of Skywalker received 3 nominations at the 92nd Academy Awards: Best Original Score, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sound Editing. It grossed over $1 billion worldwide, making it the 46th highest grossing film of all time. But that is it. Well, that sucks. Yeah. Like Mando says, this is way Wolf. I have a perfect emote for that too. That is not it. Was absolutely not it. This one.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Okay, that is officially the entry. So I think there's nothing else really left other than just get the movie started. So I'm going to set up. Right now. Do not. They will. There's definitely going to be plenty of things to watch. We are not going to be running out of anything anytime soon, that's for sure. So runtime's about 2 hours and 20 minutes, so nothing too bad for those of you that are going to stick around and watch also. So yes, on your tablets, phones, PCs, whatever, we actively watch it together, and then we just talk and chat throughout it. So please feel free to grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and chill, hang out, and ultimately, let's just hang out and have some fun. Watching the last of the movies, episode 9. Right. Help it.
The time has come. Execute order.
All right, so at the count
66.
of here we go. That's when I'm going to start it. So, here we go.
And here we go.
Started. Officially on our way. There's the title screen. There's the title screen. And the opening crawl. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge, in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine. General Leia Organa dispatches secret agents to gather intelligence, while Rey, the last hope of the Jedi, trains for battle against the diabolical First Order. We can't speak. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren rages in search of the Phantom Emperor, determined to destroy any threat to his power. Well, you got to admit, Kylo Ren wasn't. He was pretty brave. I mean, because he wanted to take out the Emperor right off the bat. Wolfie, thanks for hanging out, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yes, sir. May the force be with you as well. Yoda has some nice, kind, parting force words. Well, there.
May the Force be with you.
Now, what I did not know was that that's Mustafar, I think, that Kylo is on. Yeah, at the beginning of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren is on Mustafar, a volcanic planet where Darth Vader's castle is located. He's seen battling the Alasmic of Windset cultists to retrieve a Sith Wayfinder, which leads him to Exegol. Dragon, welcome back in. Good to see you. Yeah, for the longest time, I did not know what planet Kylo was on, actually, until, yeah, recently it was like, just like not too long ago, I actually found that out that that first planet was, because I think it just popped in my head when I was just watching these randomly and was like, wait a minute, what planet? I never knew what planet that was on at the very beginning of this movie, and that's what it is. It's Mustafar. Exegol is in the unknown regions. Yeah, it's funny. Ranger. Inside your head. I love how the Emperor is just like, my boy. Like, really? No, 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 no. You don't own this movie? Oh, believe me, I'll be talking about it quite a bit anyway. The pathway. Many abilities. Yeah, the Emperor looks pretty messed up. I love how Kylo Ren literally walks through like tanks of Snoke. And he literally built like Palpatine literally built like a whole nother empire there. Basically Star Destroyers with planet killing weapons. Portable Death Stars. They were definitely not everybody's jam. Matt, you wouldn't be the first person to think that these are very hard movies to watch. And you're absolutely right, they are, because even when these came out and I went and saw them, it and then they, were able to be streamed and that kind of thing. It's like it took me many, 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 many watches to finally just like absorb what the story was that they told and ultimately like where everything stands. So I mean, I don't blame you. Well, and the funny thing too is a big push on this movie I know was that people didn't like a lot of people didn't like the fact that Palpatine returned, but see, again, I read some of the like a lot of the legend stuff or expanded universe EU, and in that Palpatine returned, like he came back, so through cloning. So to me, like this storyline really wasn't a shock. I was actually more happy that they included it as an actual part of a movie because that was like a huge, huge thing for in the expanded universe that Palpatine actually lived somehow. Um, oh yeah, yeah. I mean the stories from 7, 8, and 9 were absolutely not the vision, of course, that Lucas wanted. Disney took over and scrapped his vision and basically came up with their own, which is fine. That was their prerogative, but you know, from a new ally. I love how he basically pushes the Falcon so far that it's like they light speed skip. That's just freaking crazy. I mean, one of the biggest pushes too with this movie in particular was that they crammed a lot of stuff in one movie also. So I mean, it's supposed to be the sequel, so they just kind of like threw everything in there to be like, okay, let's wrap everything up, but then do something. Nothing. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, man. Yes, please get some rest. We will catch you next time. Thank you for hanging as long as you have. We will catch you next time, my dude. Wolf is back. Yes, just like how Anakin came back as Darth Vader. Well, hopefully you're doing a little bit better than he did because he did come back from a very bad situation, but he was very different after the fact. That is. Exactly, Matt. Yeah, Mark Hamill has definitely voiced his opinion again, and I agree with Mark absolutely that again coming from the legend side of everything, it's like it was tough to see a different vision play out than what we kind of knew to basically be existed, but at the same time, and I had to find this out somewhat recently, actually, too, was that, see, even Lucas didn't consider the expanded universe canon either. So to Lucas, the the expanded universe was a multiverse situation. So he only considered the movies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the things in between, like the Clone Wars shows, and even like Rebels and like Bad Batch, like stuff like that, like specifically, like he considered all that canon during his reign of control. And so everything that came out before all that or during all that time, he didn't recognize as canon. So what we believed as canon was actually multiverse. So, and it wasn't actually until I put it in Discord also, was the Dave Filoni interview that specifically points that out. And he's like, I don't know why everybody's getting upset that Disney changed the expanded universe to Legends, because even Lucas himself didn't consider it legend or consider it canon. So it's all just other made up stories. And I was like, you know what? He's absolutely right, because we as hardcore fans, we believed it to be true. So it's like we wanted it to be true, which from a certain point of view it is. But I'm absolutely with you. I mean, I went through the entire New Jedi Order, his marriage to Mara Jade, the Yuzhan Vong War, like everything, seeing like Han Solo and Princess Leia get married and have the kids, Jason, Jaina, and Anakin, and then him and Mara Jade had Ben, and yeah, it's like oh yeah, that's what I meant by like earlier when I said it took me multiple watches, just like in the prequel series, same thing. It took me multiple watches of those movies and these movies to just understand and acknowledge that this is the story that they're telling, even if it wasn't something I expected or quite frankly wanted. Yeah. You watched Titanic last night? That's a good movie. Very good movie. See, but again, I like the aspect. Even right now, we're at the part where Ray's, doing her training exercises and stuff like that, and even though the fighting choreography in the sequel trilogy was obviously nothing compared to what we've seen before. Again, I like the aspect that another interview I saw where they said, well, you got to understand though to some degree that the difference between watching the prequels and the original trilogy and then coming into the sequel trilogy is the fact that in the prequel trilogy, that's normal Jedi routine. Like the Jedi still lived, they were constantly training every day. I mean, their fighting skills were legit badass. And that's why we can see the fighting that we did, because it was like next to nature to them, to be able to defend themselves the way they did. In the original trilogy, Luke didn't get that kind of training from Ben or even Yoda. Like he never got crazy lightsaber dueling. He just got the basics essentially and had to expand on that. And even Rey, to some extent, like only got like basic training when it came to like fighting with a lightsaber. So just the fact that they don't cut their own arms off wielding a lightsaber, basically like Finn did in episode 7, which was crazy. But I actually really appreciated that fight, because it's like they don't know how to fight. That's the point. Is that they really don't know how to fight because they haven't trained to fight. Yeah. And she has to learn from scratch, exactly like the way Luke did. So that's why I'm really actually curious that when they come out with this new Jedi Order series, how much is Dave Filoni? Because Dave Filoni is a total fanboy, just like we all are, and girl, depending on who you are. That I wonder how much they're going to pull from the new Jedi Order stuff that's already kind of done and kind of reincorporate that. Because again, it also takes place, it's new Jedi Order is supposed to take place like 20 to 30 years after this movie, which means it's a crap load of time to train essentially and build a new technique and a new order. So that's where I honestly think we're going to see characters like Cal Kestis, Ahsoka, Rey, of course. Maybe Finn will finally be a Jedi or whatever. But other characters are going to come out of the woodwork that are part of the games, that are a part of the canon now. So that way we'll start seeing those newer, crazier battles come back and fighting, because they've had that much time. That's why Ahsoka was the badass she was in her show, was because she kept the training up. So it was like she never left it. Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy cool. Like I love that aspect that, when you kind of stop and think about it, not that it'll change anybody's mind, but it definitely put a lot of insight for me that that's why kind of things are the way they are. Is that Luke didn't get Jedi Temple training. Rey didn't get Jedi Temple training. They just got the basics of the Force, and here's how you use it. And then Rey even took the text, the ancient Jedi text that Luke didn't even read. So now she's going to learn stuff that he never did. So that way he might even be, or she might even be a little bit more badass than he was, because she's going to really push it in that sense. So, and that's why I was excited to see that basically Dave Filoni took over the whole thing. I mean, he did. I mean, he's been a part of that. I mean, he literally said that he was Lucas's protege this entire time, the entire time. Now, not to say that, he's going to bring us the Disney Star Wars that we've always wanted. However, they still own the property, so they're going to scrap what they're going to scrap, but he'll still have some kind of flexibility to kind of steer it in a way that's like, okay, well, if they won't go for this, maybe we can do it like this and still be able to like crank out whatever. But either way, I'm excited that we're going to see new stuff regardless, because that's the other big point and why Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars, because he wanted to give it to a company that definitely wasn't going to go under, have the funds to be able to keep the property alive and ultimately keep producing stuff. And that's the other really cool thing about all of it, is that, it's not just going to go away once, unfortunately the time comes that, the Lucas is going to become one with the Force. But, but we're also getting a lot of really cool stuff too out of it. Again, being the fans that we are and being as passionate as we can be with the stuff we truly, really love and are into. I mean, I can totally see the critique that, all the sequel trilogies got from everybody, myself included, and the TV shows and the animation and just everything under the sun, because it's like everybody's looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, under a microscope, picking it apart, just ready to pounce on it, because it's just not up to a certain standard. And that's the hard part, is accepting what we're getting and looking past those standards to a certain degree. At least that's what I've tried to do, at least anyway. So just to be able to kind of get through everything and, again, accept, the content that's coming out, and just ultimately acknowledging that this is the stuff that they're making that is considered canon, and, just try to enjoy it for the property it is. Because, and a good example of that, I would say, is The Acolyte, because I am going to watch The Acolyte on this show, even though I'll probably be the only one watching it. But at the same time, the concepts that came with that show, I thought was really cool, because there was a lot of potential for it that I've read that was supposed to lead into like the creation of the Knights of Ren and things like that, more Darth Plagueis stuff that was going to kind of like tie into it, obviously, and things like that. But it also gave us a look into the High Republic era, when there was no Sith crawling around, there was no big huge galactic war going on. It was just the daily life of the Jedi and things playing out, which I thought was really cool. Plus we got to see a Wookiee Jedi, different species, different characters, so that was always really cool to see also. But yeah, again, but we got Ahsoka, we got Obi-Wan, yeah, so there's going to be, and now that Thrawn is introduced into the Ahsoka series, she's, Sabine Wren's training with Ahsoka now, and it's like, there's just a lot of stuff that, can come out. Blue Ace, what is going on, my dude? How are you, sir? Let us throw you an Obi-Wan hello there. As Kylo Ren has his destroyed mask rebuilt.
Hello there.
There he is. But yeah, again, yeah, lots of things to say. But Blue, I hope you're having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. It is Wednesday. We are halfway there. We've made it as far as this, so we just need to push through, get through Thursday, Friday, enjoy our brand new weekends as well. I got one episode in and my brain broke. I gotta grow a bit before I can sit down and watch Acolyte. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, as big as a supporter as I am for anything that is Star Wars that has come out, and I still am, I am not oblivious to the fact of the impact certain shows have had in general, or what they've tried to do, or how it came off, and things like that. I am not oblivious to any of that. Absolutely not. It is just for me more about not tearing it apart, but just picking the good qualities out of it all and moving on with my life. Highway, what's going on, man? You're absolutely right, Highway. I mean, that's what I promote too, is that, like there's there's a lot of stuff going on, especially in this movie too. Yeah. I love how the, the first order is like, what, how can we trust the Emperor? And Kylo's basically like, yep, trust him. I'm gonna go look for the scavenger. You guys, work it out. It'll come in time. It will. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of aspects with it that hit me, personally too, because I have twins. So the show was about twins, so I like that dynamic and aspect of it too. So, again, I mean, there was, and like I said, even in the acolyte, the even this the atmosphere and the time period, because we have not had an actual like live action animation or TV show that revolved around the High Republic. And that was one thing I was super excited about. Super excited because, again, there was no Empire, there was no Galactic Civil War going on, there was no like Mandalorian Civil War, there was no, just Sith Civil War. There was just nothing that the galaxy was just up in arms about. It was just the day to day, planet to planet struggles that was just life, and the Jedi were the peacekeepers who just went out on missions and went to investigate stuff and things like that. That's what I really liked too. Absolutely, Highway. I am super pumped to see that because I want to see what the big reveal is going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu. And what I mean by that is what I personally love is my concept and idea of we're going to see Mace Windu. Don't ask me why I thought it was Mace or anything, because haven't seen anything, heard anything, or whatever. But I think we're gonna get some kind of surprise reveal in the Mandalorian of some character that we haven't seen, or somebody that's supposed to be dead, or just something that's just going to be like epic, right? And the first thing I thought of honestly was Mace Windu. Like Mace is going to show up somehow because the Mandalorian and Grogu are supposed to tie all into like Ahsoka and all that stuff, because all of that world and time frame and universe are all supposed to be like kind of intertwining anyway. So and he already has, because Mandalorian met Grogu or met Ahsoka, so it all ties in together regardless. But I mean, like with Thrawn coming back and all that stuff, I mean, like I really want to see like something crazy like happen. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, that's just my fan theory. That's why I think that, like I mean, because it's not just the buildup of like him getting a movie either, but it's also like, you know, as a fan, I could see that happening, that it's not necessarily going to leave on a cliffhanger, but it's going to be part of the bigger story essentially somehow. I'm going to turn you to the dark side. He's still trying to convert Ray. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. I mean, it probably isn't. That's just me personally saying, like something that nobody is considering, like, like out of the woodwork, like, you know, something that's just like, oh my God, like, did you see that? Like, I can't believe blah, blah, blah showed up. But probably not. Who knows? I mean, he did confirm. Lucas did confirm that he is still alive. So, you know, you never know. You never know. I love that. It's General Lando Calrissian. I know who it is. 3PO. Like we know it. We know who that is. We know it. We know it. Spoiler alert, the guy who killed Rey's parents. That's who that is. They were chasing. Yeah. That's still definitely a bummer though that Leia had to give her life to bring back Kylo, but she did save him though. But he still ended up dying at the end anyway. Because that's another project that they were really pushing for was the hunt for Ben Solo. Or maybe it'll be Ben Solo who will make an appearance in Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah. No, I agree, Matt. Absolutely. I think probably they'll do the same thing, yeah. Because the way I'm also kind of seeing it too is like them doing essentially like a Marvel plan out, you know, where it's like the big picture and then being like, okay, we're gonna do, you know, this phase, not necessarily phases, but you know, like we're gonna come out with the movie here, then we're gonna do these shows, do this movie. Because I mean, even the Star Wars Starfighter movie is gonna be coming out next year, I think. Let's see. I'm not even watching the movie. I'm just sitting here talking. 2027, yeah. Upcoming American space opera film directed by Sean Levy and written by Jonathan Trupper. Going to be released May 28th, 2027. So yeah, it's going to be almost about a year from now. Probably. Because that's a whole nother point too, was that with Ahsoka coming back, well, with the way Ahsoka happened and Ezra actually coming back, like to the present, Ezra is going to be part of that new Jedi Order, I feel. So we're going to get like Ahsoka, Sabine, Ezra, Rey, Cal Kestis. I mean, there's just a ton of people that, and even Rey's new Jedi Order. That's why I said like I think they're going to pull from the Luke's new Jedi Order because just because Luke is like a Force ghost doesn't mean like Luke isn't going to be there and still help guide Rey, which is I think a way that Filoni is going to kind of rein in the new Jedi Order to be kind of what Luke's vision was, but Rey's just going to be the one to enact it and make it happen. Yeah. Knife King is back. What's up, man? KG, hello there. Ghost of Caldera is here. What is going on, Ghost?
Hello there. I am a Jedi.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
There we go. Somebody did the General Kenobi. Dom, welcome in, man. Hope you guys are all doing well. and having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. I've just been talking pretty much this entire time about just all the upcoming stuff we got going on as far as Star Wars related, what's happening with this and that, and just all sorts of craziness. Hello there. Yeah, now that they're really pushing the world in between worlds like we saw in Ahsoka, that's what I mean by like even in the last Jedi movie, they were really pushing the ability that they can still interact with the real world as a force ghost. Like just because they became one with the force doesn't mean that they're like gone either. So Notch has a question. What energy weapon do you think is better, the 40K laser gun or the Imperial blaster? Ah, KG, yep, exactly. No one's ever really gone. That's why we were talking about like how Luke is probably going to play a big part in Rey setting up her new order, and also like that's going to be Filoni's kind of way of like using Rey as like the expanded universe Luke, but just as Rey. Grave, what's going on, my dude? Welcome back in, sir. Yes, I am well, actually. It's Wednesday. We're doing the pod. It is episode 9, so we're officially watching, or actually, I'm trying to watch, but we've been talking this literally the entire time, which is freaking great. It's awesome. But yeah, no, we're watching episode 9, man. Last official Skywalker movie. Yes, this movie ends the saga. So we were just talking about the future as far as just shows in general, movies in general, what our expectations are for Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm thinking Mace Windu. We could also see, who else did I say? Not Mace Windu, but who were we just talking about? It was nitpick all over the details. Yeah, I just barely saw that, man. Oh yeah, I want everybody to just finally let loose. I mean, that's the whole point of the podcast. It's interactive. It's talking about what we're particularly watching. So in this case, it is episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. What do you like? What do you hate? I mean, just let the floodgates open. It's perfectly fine. I mean, I want to hear your thoughts too, because we've been I've been talking this like entire time about this and just all sorts of other stuff too, as everybody else is interacting also. So would love to see Luke helping Rey. That could also possibly help people who are against her taking the Skywalker name. It also makes sense to me for making a new Jedi Academy. That's exactly, Kay. You make a perfect point of what we were talking about, is that because again, like I came from Legends, so Luke rebuilt the new Jedi Order. He was creating like the new Jedi Order, having a temple, having a council, that kind of thing. And it's like we were just rattling off literally like who we think, or I think, is going to be on the council, meaning it'll be Ezra Bridger, which Mad brought up, Ezra Bridger, Ahsoka, Rey, probably Grogu at that point, who knows, Cal Kestis, basically all the Jedi that we know are still alive and are going to carry into that new era. Like that's going to be crazy. I think that's going to be freaking awesome. I do too, KG. I mean, it's again, it took a while for me again to rewatch and rewatch and rewatch all 3 of the sequel movies over and over and over again, just to understand the concept, the story, and ultimately what they're trying to show and do, to like acknowledge that like, okay, this is what's happened and this is what we have to go with. So I mean, even having talked through it so far, I mean, it's not the end of the world that these exist. Yes, that is true. But there are ways that they can kind of shape and mold the story into being something a little bit more fan pushed also. Notch, I mean, that's a great point, man. That is absolutely a great point. Notch says, I don't get though why people bash Kylo's saber. People forget those who know how to make lightsabers are gone or dead. He had to cobble it together. Absolutely. And that's specifically what I was talking about as far as their fighting styles, is that back when the original trilogy started and even in the sequel trilogy, the difference between, and even people just bashing, like looking at the prequels saying, the Qui-Gon fights and the Obi-Wan and the Maul and just like all the fights and the Anakin and Obi fights like were just fantastic and they were just out of this world and crazy and just full of just like just insanity, right? Like, I had to remember and also read about the fact that, when Luke came around, he didn't have Jedi training the same way they did in the prequel trilogy, because that was like day-to-day regular training for them. I mean, to always stay focused and lightsaber train and stuff. Luke got a crash course in the Force and lightsaber training. Rey got a crash course in the Force and lightsaber training. So they will not look like Maul or Obi in the Prime or Annie, because they haven't learned that yet. But I think honestly that what we will see, though, however, is by the time the new Jedi Order comes around, we're going to see those fight scenes come back, because they've had enough time to basically be able to train and focus on combat and all that sort of thing. So we're going to see that return of crazy Jedi battles, because they finally have the time to. So it's not all cobbled, again, together. That's why I think, man, like you just said, about the training, is that Luke in some way, shape, or form is going to be Rey's Force guide to build the Jedi Order, I think. I think they are, Kay, actually. They're doing more and more stuff now that are kind of bridging the gaps between not only these movies, but really showing like behind the scenes stuff, like not necessarily the Hunt for Ben Solo, which got scrapped, but more particularly like, what was that new series that just came out about, there was a new comic that came out actually about some behind the scenes stuff, and like in that format, yeah, absolutely. I think they're gonna build they're gonna build more on that. Maybe not in like a TV show form, obviously, or a movie, but they'll at least have some kind of format to be able to play with all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that's what I think we're gonna see eventually, is that form of Luke. And we kind of did actually with his appearance in the Mandalorian show when Luke showed up to get Grogu. Like his badassedness. I mean, we saw old retired Luke basically, but we didn't see Luke after Jedi yet. And that was kind of our glimpse into his world of like pushing that training and not retiring yet. So yeah, I think there's a good chance we'll see something, maybe. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Kylo's crystal's broken, but yeah, he used like an old legend way to build his saber too. Yeah, yeah, I think that must have been it. Yeah, it was like that's kind of their dip into, that kind of world. Exactly, Notch. Yeah, Kyle's training as if I can recall video snips from Darth Vader's battles. Kyle is self-taught. Exactly. That's the like all these guys don't have anything to learn from other than like what they think they know, versus, and also like holocrons and like with Ray taking the old Jedi texts and stuff and keeping them. Luke thought they were gone, but she ended up keeping them because something probably told her take them, because you're going to need them for the future. And those are going to pop up also again, because by the time the new Jedi Order comes out and it gets to that point, then yes, we will see, a whole new era of Star Wars that's going to be these new characters and new stories and new craziness. But at the same time, I think we're going to definitely see a crazy shift in fighting styles too. Also. Oh, Rey and Kylo. They're struggling. And then our lightning fingers. And she screams Chewie. You can actually hear that, like, scared, guttural scream when she screams Chewie's name. Actually, it really doesn't. It's probably helps because I constantly move around. I know I'm slouching all the time, so I'm always like basically like this for most of the stream, but it actually really doesn't, because the helmet itself doesn't weigh much. It's kind of more just like sits on your head, so it's more just like pretty much me adjusting it to make sure that like I can still see out of it, kind of thing. It's not so much during the it's not so bad during the podcast, because I can hear everything and I'm looking at like chat and all that stuff. But no, that's a good question, actually. And the crazy thing is that now that I've come back to live cosplay, Hardcore Robbie's raiding with a party of 32 people. Holy crap. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in, raiders. Let me see. Raid. Yes, I actually have a raid. I actually finally got a raid. Emote, actually, finally. But welcome in, guys. I hope all you guys are having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. This is the way, absolutely. Awake all night, thank you for that. And I have a nice redeem for that, too. Let me show you.
This is the way.
This is the way.
And
This
also,
is the way.
a Mandalore. Well, there's plenty of other ones also. For Mandalore, yes, for Mandalore. But yes, welcome in, guys. I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi, both on Twitch and YouTube, streaming simultaneously. Welcome in, guys. Again, I hope you're having a great and safe week in your parts of the galaxy. Welcome in. Wednesday nights for me, I stream Wednesdays through Sundays. Wednesday night for me is a podcast. Yes, I do a podcast that I upload this on iHeartRadio and Spotify. Currently, actually, right now, we are actually watching Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. We cannot visually show it, but on the side we can watch it. So literally right now I see right in front of me the movie. We stream it and watch it together. We talk, chat. What do we like? What do we hate? It's a reason to open the floodgates. This is episode 9 of the podcast. So for the first 9 episodes of the podcast, I wanted to watch and make sure we took care of the Skywalker saga in general. But Robbie, thank you for that raid, man. Greatly appreciate it, dude. Yes, I'm busy, dude. Busy. 2026 has been a freaking run and gun of a year. I mean, I'm not joking, man. It's like it's just been every day has been crazy busy. Always go, but have still been able to at least enjoy hanging out, doing the streams, hanging out with you guys, just having a good time. Either way, I am looking forward to the Mando movie. Absolutely. We were talking about that because part of my hope as a fan is a big reveal, like some kind of like big, oh my God, what is this, kind of thing. And ultimately what I think that's going to be is, yeah.
I can't breathe in this thing!
Is ultimately like a Mace Windu reveal. Like it probably won't be at all, or even we probably won't even get a reveal. But yeah. But at the same time, I think there's busy isn't bad. No. Not that anything's really bad. It's just just it's been run and gun. And even leading up to the end of the year of 2025, it was just run and gun. And then like literally right at the crack of midnight leading into 2026, it's just been just like go, 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 go. But you know, that's not a bad thing either. Like you said, just, you know, hanging in there, doing crazy stuff.
What? Did we just become
That's my
best
newest
friends?
one.
Yup.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Awake all night. Thank you for that
This
follow,
is the
guys.
way.
I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for the support. And again, shout out. I need to do a shout out. I keep forgetting to do shout outs. Let's do shout outs. Let me make sure I get Robbie's name right. Hardcore. There we go. There we go. There's the shout out. Exactly. That's kind of what I meant by like like I want to see, even though like this is just me talking about talking, is like a just some big huge like nobody knew this was coming kind of thing for that movie, for Mandalorian and Grogu. I mean like that's what I think, or my prediction's going to be, is that's what that's going to be. Yeah. Oh, no worries, man. Yes, if you haven't already, yeah, definitely make sure you subscribe to or follow. Make sure you go and follow Hardcore Robbie. We've known each other for quite a long time now, actually, at this point, I think. What were you guys doing? What were you playing? I need to set up the alerts where it says like who rated and like what they were playing last and all that good stuff. That's what I mean, Awake. Yep, absolutely. Like something that is just going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe like that we saw this person or that happened, or because it's a part of a bigger picture anyway, and we all kind of know that. So regardless, it's like we know that it's a part of something. So it's not going to be like ending anything. It's continuing on stuff. Yeah, yeah. And that's what we were talking about actually earlier was, you know, the cool thing to think about is that Luke coming back isn't a bad thing either, because, you know, I came from Legends and a lot of us read Legends stuff, and we know how like Luke created his Jedi Order, and Rey's going to basically be following those same footsteps, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like exactly with Bryce Dallas Howard and, you know, Dave Filoni kind of steering the ship. It's like, cause Jon Favreau is out after The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like he stepped away from Star Wars, you know, because he thinks that that's kind of like his magnum opus, like final finale for him was doing the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is perfectly fine. But I think they're going to use Luke as kind of like the intermediary to like basically Rey is going to be the face of Luke's new Jedi Order that we know of, but it's just going to have like a different kind of face to it. It's going to be Rey. Yeah, absolutely. So Vox Populi Canada 25, basically trying to become Prime Minister of Canada. Nice. How'd that work out for you? It's like Civilization, but with Canada. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, guys, that, you know, tonight, like I said, is the podcast night, so there's not really anything visually happening. I mean, there's a nice poster and the timestamp of the point we are in the movie, but yes, this is a more live action talk and chat while we watch separately the movie, because unfortunately Twitch and YouTube don't allow you to just stream a movie or a TV show without getting in trouble. But Prime Minister Robbie, yep, Robbie for president, at least of Canada, you know, of nothing else, then that's fine. Canada's good too. You got a minority coalition, so he succeeded at becoming prime minister. Nice, very cool. We'll give a celebration to Robbie for being prime minister of Canada, or becoming prime minister of Canada.
It's my birthday!
But yeah, I just started this podcast. Like I said, this is actually episode 9 of the podcast, so the first 9 episodes. And the whole point of the podcast that I'm doing basically is as a talk and chat, like a mystery science theater kind of thing. That, ultimately, even though we can't visually watch it together, we can still watch it separately, but we can still talk about it, keep on point of the podcast, but still just share our thoughts, share our enthusiasm, share our crazy fan base in this, talk about this and that, whatever. Sorry, KG, I did not see that. Lightning fingers is when I realized she was a Palpatine. I know it's General Darkseid thing, but narratively, that's a good point because I didn't even make that connection. I really didn't. I just thought like, oh crap, she just dove into the. Because see, even in the Last Jedi, the crazy thing is that even Luke was shocked because like as soon as the dark side reached out, she went right for it. Like she didn't even try to like resist. She was just like, okay, let's go. And that's why I kind of think even with from a Legends point of view, Luke going to the dark side and Dark Empire with the clone emperor and all that, like I see hints of all that kind of sprinkled into these stories too, because the emperor did come back. There is a pull to the dark side from a light side character, that kind of thing. So you see that kind of mirrored image in Rey and things like that. But Rook Cast could be the armorer, potentially. John Williams cameo, yep. Do I have any snack suggestions I could bring with me to the hospital? I'll have to think about that, Ghost, because that's probably not happening for any time soon. But I'll definitely keep you in mind, sir. Just remind me. Just remind me. And everybody congratulate Ghost again. He's going to be a new father. Yes. Again, we'll have the Goldblum playing. Exactly. One can't exist without the other. One can't exist without the other regardless. So, like, too much light needs to be balanced with dark. Yeah, and that's why KG just said watching it back, you realize how much Rey struggles with the dark, whereas her mirror Ben struggles with the light. That is absolutely the perfect way to say that. Yes, KG, you're absolutely right. And I didn't even think of it that way too. I just knew Rey or not Rey, both of them, Rey and Kylo both struggled because they were, connected to the Force. But Mad Tank from YouTube says congratulations, Ghost. But yeah, absolutely right. I mean, there has to be some kind of balance, and that's what like the theories throw out there that when Plagueis was gonna create, or was creating light or darkness, basically immortality, and he was just like there was so much dark side pooling essentially at that point that the Force had to create something that could balance it all out, and that's why Anakin was born. Essentially, he was born from the Force to combat and bring the balance back because it was just way too one-sided. Yeah.
Any credits?
Dom, thank you for that, man. I greatly appreciate it, sir. Ads start. No, those pesky ads. But yes, real quick, guys, I just wanted to let you guys know I updated the giveaway actually, and I just updated it today to be.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Well, we'll talk about that after the ad break, real quick, just in case nobody caught it. And your friends on that Skytrash? It's Babu Freak. I love how, but the comedy in these sequel trilogies, though, you gotta admit, it is pretty funny. Like they just literally rebooted C-3PO to like read back a Sith message, right? Because he knew it and he had it in his memory, but he couldn't do it because his protocols allowed him to not do it. But they basically rebooted his system so he could do it, wiped his memory out, and then he just introduces himself like he knows nobody, and he just came online for the first time ever, and then Poe just looks at him and goes, okay, that's going to be a problem. Like, Like, great. Well, tell Aiden we said hi. Tell him the stream and the channel all say hi to Aiden. Hey, hey. The medallion's good. But yeah, there's just so much things, and that's why I love being a fan of not only just Star Wars, but like Star Trek, Warhammer, other stuff that just, like Lord of the Rings. I mean, I'm a fan of fantasy and all sorts of stuff like that. And it's like these worlds that we find ourselves in, it's just like you can get so lost in them because it's just like a never-ending rabbit hole of lore and stories and stuff and everything they've come out with, whether it's been a movie or a show or whatever. It's like it's just it pulls you in, and then all it takes is just to look up one thing and be like, who is that character? And then you look up that character, which leads to this, which leads to that, which intertwines with this and that and this and that. And then it's just like it just like intersects and comes out, and it becomes a part of a bigger story. And then you get pulled in and you see other characters. And it's like, I really, really always loved the storytelling from Star Wars. I always have. Robbie, thank you again for the raid, man. Greatly appreciate it, my dude. Yes, again, sorry guys that there's nothing really visually happening as far as like a game goes. My gaming will start Thursday through Sunday. Again, this just happens to be the podcast, so it's more static than anything. We just talk again, but no, thank you, Robbie. I greatly appreciate it, man. Take care. Congratulations on becoming the Prime Minister of Canada. You deserve it, man. You're awesome. But thank you, dude. Greatly appreciate it.
Roger.
Get some rest. We will catch you next time, sir. He's close. I think we're already an hour into the movie. We got about an hour and 20 minutes left. Almost done. Almost done, but let's see. Ad break is almost over, and then I'm going to talk about the giveaway again. And then we'll take a cosplay break while we grab a drink. Yeah, I think I've literally actually been talking this like the entire time, but it's awesome, man. You guys are just coming up with, all sorts of great subjects and topics about everything and anything, so it's great. So immersive, yeah. You're absolutely right, KG. That's exactly right. Yeah. You find out something new, and then you look into something else, and then, it's just there's so much to be a part of. It's great. Okay, so we're officially back. So yes. So like I was saying, yes, I am doing a video game giveaway. So I do have a Twitch goal, and that Twitch goal is to hit 1,000 followers on Twitch. And if that is possible and the Force does allow it, originally I was going to give away 3 specific games, and it was going to be Battlefield 6, Dead by Daylight, and Star Wars Battlefront 2 with a side quest of like, if I could say hit that goal between now and summertime, then I would have thrown Arc Raiders. But the more I thought of it, and it really hit me and struck me today about it, was that, not everybody's going to play those games, so not everybody's going to be as excited for any of those games, because sometimes, we all play different stuff anyway. So I was like, well, why should it be those specific when it should just be any game you want? So I changed the giveaway up a little bit. So again, like I said, should the Force allow it and allow me to get to that 1K follower mark on Twitch, I'm going to give away 3 games on any platform to the lucky winners. And should we be able to hit that goal between now and June or July and summertime, essentially, I will give away a 4th game, and that's any game you want. Any game you want on any platform. So if you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, regardless, there's a video game you want, I will make sure that happens. And you will be gifted that game as a thank you for all of you guys' support, for being the freaking awesome legends that you guys all are. So thank you again for your support. Dom says, I really don't want to go to work. I've worked a 16 Monday, a 12 Tuesday, and a 14 Wednesday, and today is going to be at least another 12. Best case scenario, but something always goes wrong. Ah. No, don't be an adult. Don't make it so you can be an adult. Do what you got to do, sir. I love how Kylo like always teases Rey about knowing her parents. Like he's always just hanging that over her, which is crazy. Tell me where. So what do you guys think? He was looking for you. But yes, we are actively watching the Rise of Skywalker right now. I'm watching it right in front of me. That is not streaming because against the terms and conditions of Twitch and YouTube, but that doesn't mean we can't talk about it or say what we like or don't like. How he gets under her skin exactly, KG. It's like he's always like poking her, you know. Even that scene in the Last Jedi when she turns around and he's standing there with like no shirt on, and she's like, "Ugh, can you put a shirt on or something?" And he's like just standing there, and she's like, "Great, thanks," like whatever. But it's like he's always screwing with her. I mean, and unfortunately, the way this movie ends, and at this point, we can talk about it. That unfortunately, their romance and things like that, their connection obviously was well known, but like I would have liked to have seen how like the romance played out, and just ultimately like were they going to become essentially were Kylo and or not Kylo, but Ben and Rey gonna kind of be like the Luke and Mara Jade kind of concepts, going forward. I mean, yeah, I knew it. No, you didn't. Like the supreme leader essentially of the First Order, Hux. Well, Kylo is, I guess, but yeah, Hux in this sense says, "I'm the spy," and he goes, "I knew it." Like, no, you didn't. Like, nobody knew that. Basically, he kept giving her an out. Absolutely, yeah, KG. I mean, that's absolutely true. Like he didn't want to kill her. He wanted her to rule with him. That was his whole push. Was they can be basically emperor and empress, and that's where we see her, flashback, um, turn to the dark side, which I think sucked because it's like we got to see Dark Ray, which was really cool with a double bladed lightsaber. Because I really thought the sequels were pushing for her to have that double bladed lightsaber, but because they gave her the double bladed Sith lightsaber, she wants to use a single bladed lightsaber. And I was like, oh, like the potential of having a Jedi with a double bladed saber would have been so freaking cool, but oh well. Alpha Virgo popping in. What is up, dude? Yes, sir. We are watching the Rise of Skywalker, last of the Skywalker sagas. But yes, might still happen. Never know. Absolutely. I mean, never say never. We just don't know. We just absolutely don't know. Yeah. And Kay just said the same thing on YouTube. Yeah, they still could be. They could change their minds on the hunt for Ben Solo, or at least bring him back in some similar way. And then Dom said, might still happen. You never know. Yep. Yep. We're all on the same page. It's like, it's just. Dyad. That's the word that they used. We're a dyad in the Force. Yeah. All right. So I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick cosplay break. So we will get a chair stream. just for at least 10-15 minutes or so I can take a breather, sip some water, have a snack while we watch and talk and chat. So give me 1 second, but the mic will still be on. It's just we're going to take a cosplay break really quickly.
I can't breathe in this thing.
That's a very well timed one too. Yes. It's not that it's actually uncomfortable. It's like, you know what? I could take breaks. That's kind of what I told myself, was that it doesn't have to be like a constant, but I could still take breaks. So yes, I'll be right back, guys. No. Don't pause. The movie still goes on. We never pause. Landing gears busted. How busted? Oh yes, we can take a breather. Take a breather for a second. But no. No, that's the whole point too for me, is that if we, believe me, if we paused every second I had to take a break, either way, it's like we'd literally be sitting here for like 7 hours watching 1 2-hour movie. So it does help though. So thank you guys. But thank you for asking, Kay. I appreciate that. Well, Grave, I'm glad you were able to get your new controller, man. I love how make sure of it. The Emperor's still pushing his buttons though. And you'll notice that too, Grave, with certain games, there's always stick drift to it, regardless of how you play it. Like I noticed that especially with Dead by Daylight, is even with my PS5 controller, I have stick drift on it, and I don't know why. That's just how it is. Yeah. You mean like a gaming night kind of thing? Or just like a Discord hangout? Aiden is back. Call of Duty. Oh, when Galactic Racer comes out? Dude, I'm going to be streaming that Friday nights. So, which is going to be, because Shadow's East Coast time. So he's 3 hours ahead of me. So, oh, we absolutely can. Absolutely. Yeah, it would just have to be planned. Same thing I think with Shadow and everybody else. Yeah, with as busy as Monster is usually during the week, I think it'd probably be easier. And I know Shadow, well, I guess it also depends too. Basically availability. Just find out ultimately like what days are better for everybody, because Shadow streams Monday through Thursday. I'm usually on Wednesday through Sunday. Monster's kind of, like a little bit in between both. So Hayden says Call of Duty weekend. Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're man said he's down. Galactic Racers is cosplay, crossplay, but the only thing is you'll just have to have um, the newer consoles. So, like it says, it's full cross-platform multiplayer, allowing players on the PC, PS5, and Xbox to compete against each other, and up to 12-player online matches. So it has to be a newer console, like the Xbox Series. What is it, XS, I think, and the PS5. Probably, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely going to be a good time. That's for sure. Yeah, yeah. You just have to coordinate it, man. I mean, it'll be like herding stray cats, but I'm totally down for it. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Now, if you wanted to do, I mean, some people might be able to stream, some people might not. So yeah, I mean, loft cats. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And just outside reality life schedules, that sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, just as long as it's planned, in the future kind of thing of like, hey, what do you guys think about this date, this date, this date, and we all kind of agree generally, and then kind of like lead up to it. Yeah, it'll be fine. But nice. Now she's awake. Good one, Dom. Poster you made for a Mandalorian event. Nice. That's so wicked that he tells him that when he says, "I'm not Leia," and he just like smacks his hand and says, "That's for damn sure." It's like, oof. Oh, Aiden, question if you were still there. Um, what Call of Duty? Because I don't think I can stream mobile, but I can do Warzone at least. Oh yeah, Alpha. I actually finally put a timer, an actual like timestamp on the stream now. So now we'll actually know how far into the now we actually know how far into the movie we are without having to like plug it into chat. So yeah, we're an hour and 13 minutes into it. She's crawling into the Death Star ruins. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought of that like two streams ago, I think, or two podcasts ago. I was like, wait a minute, I think there's like a timer clock I can just use and just use that, so that way everybody knows as soon as if you're going to be a part of the watch party or whatever. Um, yeah, then at least everybody will know right off the bat without having to see exactly where. Or I mean, not that asking was a problem either. It was just like I figured it'd be a nice visual for everybody to be like, oh, okay, they're an hour into the movie, they're 20 minutes, whatever, blah 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 blah. But yeah, just even going back to like the Death Star after the fact is pretty crazy to think of, and the vault part I really like. Yep, Dom, we'll be here. Let's see, how much time do we have left? We have an hour and 9 minutes left of the movie. So yes, we will be here, sir. Yeah, that sucks, Grave. I wish you could have used a PS5 controller, but I guess there's just no compatibility with the fours. Fortunately. All is back right in the world. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Even the fact that they added a like a vault, right? Like just literally adding like a vault to next to the throne room that obviously didn't exist when they first made the movie. It's like little things like that, them throwing in, I think really is cool, just because it's like this tiny little detail of like this movie. And then there's Dark Rey with her double-bladed Sith saber. Don't be afraid of who you are. Luke on Dagobah all over again. And she hisses at her. And then here comes Kylo having to sit there and ruin everything. I do like the aura of his chair in the background there, which I still think is in her sharp teeth. Yeah, she fully committed Sith at that point. I couldn't tell though if her eyes were yellow though or not. I don't think they were, but yeah, she definitely converted to Sith at that point. I still love that story that Ian McDermott says about the throne room chair pushing buttons. Yep. That's how he had to use his feet to turn it because the electric swivel didn't work. Like I love, like every time I've seen him sitting in his throne chair, like I always think of him just like I can't unsee it at this point, even though you can't see it. It's like you can't unsee it or unhear it. It's him just like using his feet to just swivel, and actually like even if you just go back and you rewind it when he turns, it's like you can't even tell he's using his feet. So it's like he did it in such a slick, smooth way that he literally was able to turn without anybody catching the fact that he was using his feet to push it around without moving his knees or bumping up and down or anything, you know. It's like, it's so funny. And Tarkin with his slippers. Exactly. Yep. Oh, Leia. Our forever princess. Yeah, I really wish I know that Lego Star Wars tapped into this. Like if you watch the Lego Star Wars Christmas special, like Finn keeps asking more about his training, like his Jedi training. Like I really hope that they push for that for him. Because I believe John Boyega said that he'd be open to, you know, obviously coming back as Finn, but would love to explore the Jedi side for that too. Because it says Finn FN 2187 is widely considered force sensitive within the Star Wars sequel trilogy, with strong implications of latent Jedi potential, though he never formally becomes a Jedi Knight. Hints in The Force Awakens and The Rise of Skywalker, alongside confirmation from actor John Boyega, suggest a planned trajectory toward him being a Jedi that was not fully realized on screen, with Finn instead serving as a crucial, brave, non-Jedi leader in the Resistance. That's a really good point. Yeah, KG just said, I love the juxtaposition between the fight on Mustafar over lava and this fight with the water and its meaning. That's a really freaking good point. I never put that connection together. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Finn will definitely be a Jedi. I think so. I think he'll definitely be a part of the new Jedi Order. Yeah, because see, even in these fight scenes is what I'm talking about. Is that like even with the training that Ben was getting, you know, like, but Ben is like, if you ever play like Star Wars: The Old Republic, like Ben is like a Sith juggernaut, where it's like he's pushing, like Ben is pushing like strength and like dominating by just using the Force in like just a way that's like overpowering, like with just massive like heavy strikes and just like brute force forcing it basically, rather than try to like finesse in that sense. Man, thank you for popping in, man. Greatly appreciate the hangout, man. Yes, please get some rest, sir. We will catch you later. Thanks, man, for hanging. We'll catch you next time, dude. Leia. And I think a Kirby wants to come in. All right, we'll get re-suited up and stick around for the last just about hour left of the stream. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you let go of all that anger and that hate. And you know Luke's sitting there going, "Oh, come," or not Luke, Anakin's looking at Rey going like, "Oh, come on. Like that's what I wanted to do to Padme," and she's over there healing him. The whole point was him to try to the whole point was for him to try to save Padme by healing her somehow, knowing that she was going to die, and she literally save each other from death. But they also never fully explain either. At least as far as I know, they don't fully explain like how Rey learned how to heal either, and that could be in the old ancient Jedi texts that was on the temple that Luke was on that nobody knew about, not even Anakin, obviously. That was just something that existed. Yeah, that's part of the balance in the prophecy. Yeah, was all the events had to play out the way they did. This is so freaking sad. She's gone. That just hurts to see. It really does. Chewie just falls to his knees and just starts banging the ground. It's like she's dead too. Like that feeling sucks. Like she's dead too. First it was Han. Or actually no, first it was Obi-Wan. First it was Obi-Wan, then Han, then Luke, now Leia. It's like but I do love how Han comes back right here for one more shot to talk to his son. Kylo Ren is dead. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure what if that was supposed to be her or not, but you bring up a really good point. Yeah, KG said I think originally this would have been a chat between Leia and Ben, but with Carrie's passing, Harrison came back. Yeah, such a great scene. It absolutely is. And that's even harder, as you could almost kind of hear the emotion in Harrison's voice too, saying like, you know, what she's gone, what she stood for. Yeah. I mean, it's powerful. It absolutely is. The Meonics. Oh. Yes, my lord.
And here we go.
Here we go. They really freaking rock Kajimi though. Aiden says, "When am I going to play Call of Duty?" I will look into making sure I download it, Aiden, and if it's not this weekend, at least it'll be soon. I'll promise you that, my dude. I definitely can't promise that the gameplay is going to be any good, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah. Final order begins. I mean, Lando is still there too. I mean, Lando and Chewie are pretty much the only really originals left, which still sucks. How do you fight an empire? Even quirky little moments like that, like I need you in command with me. Okay, I can't do this alone. General, 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 general. Like, okay. The Emperor wanted her alive. The porgs are just sitting there watching her burn the TIE fighter down. And then Luke catches the lightsaber. What are you most afraid of?
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Didn't tell me. Running fear is the destiny of a Jedi. War will be lost. So cool. Watching them both fight each other with sabers. And then it was a cool thing I found out that in that scene right there where she's fighting, that's her daughter. They just, redid Carrie's face over her in the mask, but that's her daughter playing her right there, which is an awesome layer. Saber is gorgeous. Yeah, it's like it has just this like elegance to it. You have everything you need. Because even this scene particularly right here that we're watching, where Luke is literally a Force ghost projecting himself to Rey and lifting his lifting his X-wing that he couldn't even lift in front of Yoda in the Dagobah swamp, like that is definitely a good indication that just because you turn into a Force ghost doesn't mean like your physical body is over, but like your interaction with the real world and just everything about it, it's like they've found the secret to immortality by becoming one with the Force the way they can. Yeah, Billy Lord. Yeah, I love this scene, and you are. I remember if I had a best friend.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
Alpha, thank you for hanging, man. Yep, you have a great day. Be safe out there, sir. Time to go do your adult thing. Absolutely. Appreciate it, my dude. We'll catch you next time, man. You want to put what in my head? I love how, like, as much as 3PO bags on R2, and says that, like, his files are always a mess and, like, he never saves anything and stuff like that. He at least had a backup copy of 3PO before they went on the mission. So there's a little time gap in there, sure, but it's like generally he's back. It's like going back to a save point right before the thing. It's like he was able to bring him back either way. But I still love that concept that Star Wars is told from R2's point of view, because he's been there since day one in the beginning, and he's always been there. So I hope they continue on at least that story for him, and R2's always part of everything also. I hope they bring back actually the relationship between Finn and Kelly Marie Tran. The Finn and Rose, because that was definitely something that I really wished they could have shown more, but with everything going on in the Rise of Skywalker, I mean they kind of different. No one's ever really gone. They were hammering that concept. They absolutely were. They were just like, look at what Yoda's doing. Look at what Luke's doing. Like, yeah. 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 I mean, like the I personally believe, yeah, that the new Jedi Order series is really going to be pushing the, like, relationships are okay. The again, the Luke and Mara Jade concept of, like, it's not that attachments are bad. It's just and she's like, oh crap, that's a whole fleet right there. That's literally a whole nother empire, literally staring at her. The Final Order. So yeah, I would like to believe that if the Final Order made the jump to Lightspeed and basically combined with the First Order, then yeah, they really probably would have been screwed. Because see, even for the longest time, I never knew that the First Order were just considered a terrorist organization, essentially, because they had never really struck out against the New Republic until the first movie, when they activated the super weapon, destroyed the home world, or basically the capital planet of the New Republic, which is the planets they destroyed in that movie. And so it's no longer Coruscant, and they literally destroyed the capital world and declared war on the New Republic, and then became a problem. Or at least enough to where the New Republic was like, wait a minute, holy crap, because before that, they were just like a group, like a splinter group of the Empire that, like, they were keeping tabs on, but needed a group to essentially pick up the pieces and take on without the New Republic really like diverting resources, which is why Leia came into play and created the Resistance, which is essentially a rebellion for the New Republic, but not the New Republic directly, you know, jumping in. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what Luke broke from in his new Jedi Order, was that, you know, he learned that the old ways, you know, worked for a while, but they eventually, you know, fell apart. Yeah, I could see that. That's why I was so excited to learn that Korriban is actually a canon planet. The Sith homeworld of Korriban actually exists. It's just Lucas didn't like the name Korriban because it sounded too much like Coruscant. So they just updated the name. Instead of Korriban, it's Moraban or Morabon. And that's like during the Sith times they called it Korriban, but then in the like New Republic age or the Empire age they call it Moraban. Dominator unlurked. Welcome back, sir. Beskar hugs for that man. Back from driving. Welcome back, sir. Yes, we are an hour 42 minutes 8 9 seconds 10 11 12 fighting the first, actually the final order. Sorry, the final order. Landing a troop carrier. They're not using speeders. You had a good teacher. Oh, there's those red troopers. Yeah, essentially Palpatine literally had like a whole cult there. See, and part of me really thinks too is that like they didn't kill everybody there either. Like there had to be somebody that survived in that whole group that was watching them all. Like yeah, the entire like temple, whatever you want to call it, it's like the whole thing is just absolutely filled with people. But like I think they really probably didn't kill everybody. I mean, maybe in that blast, yes, they all were dead, but Palpatine always has a backup plan. That's the one thing we know about Palpatine. The Sith troopers were really cool. Like that's one of my favorite classes to play in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like they're essentially assault characters, but just like an elite version of assault. But it's like I even use their weapon for my assault class. Come to end them as a Jedi. I still subscribe to the spoiler alert to anybody that has not seen the Bad Batch, but once they finally explained, or Kylo explained to her who her parents were and where her lineage came from, I still subscribe to my fan theory that we know her father came as a clone, a failed clone from Palpatine, who Palpatine let go into the galaxy, right? But he was not force sensitive at all. but I still subscribe to the idea that Rey's mother is Emery Carr from Bad Batch, which happens to be Omega and Boba's older sister. Because I think two clones made Rey. That's my fan theory. Project Necromancer, yep. Because the way, and again, spoiler alert to anybody who has not seen Bad Batch, I won't go into too much detail, but the way it ends with her character specifically, I used to think it was somebody else. I used to actually think it was Omega, but then the more Emery Carr showed up, I was like, wait a minute, and then it just, to me, it made more sense that you take two clones and then they created the other half of the dyad in the Force, and that's Rey. But we'll see. I mean, they've already said that generally that they don't know exactly who her mother was, but like from what's been sourced anyway, that like her name and where she came from and stuff like that. But I think that's where her mom came from. I don't know, R2. It's like, what do we do? Just stay alive. Yeah, that's a lot of cultists. Because Revan even had a cult. That's in Star Wars: The Old Republic. So Revan even had like a cult that, oh, itchy. God from Heaven 2525 said hi. Hello there. I hope you're having a great and safe week in your part of the galaxy, sir. We are currently 1 hour, 47 minutes, 59 seconds into Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, we are actively watching it as we speak. Rey is confronting the Emperor, coming back for his return. Where is... Hello there.
Hello there.
Strike me down.
General Kenobi.
Thank you, Dom. That's a good point, yeah. He says Revan and Bastilla were likely the previous dyad. Yeah, that's a really good point. Because they haven't probably seen a dyad like that in thousands of years. Yeah. Even that little scene where Kylo jumps and lands and goes, ow. Like, oh, like that hurts. Ow. He will strike me down. Pledge herself as a Sith. See, even the Emperor the whole time was just like teasing her because all he wanted was her body, because she was the one that would be able to hold him. Like they're just always pushing. They're just always pushing. Being like, you know, you want to fight. With the stroke of her saber, the Sith are reborn. Make the sacrifice. Yeah, Ben definitely seems more focused. Yeah, you definitely see that. Like he really in that scene right there where he takes out the entire group of Knights of Ren, it's like you really see his potential basically come back once he shed that dark side from him. Yeah, Dom says a little incesty. He father wanted her body. Yeah, because it seems like he wanted her to strike him down, which means he would have needed a new host body, which would have been hers. So unseen for generations. Power of two restores the one true emperor. Yep. Yep. I think Lego Star Wars has already done that. The Rebuild the Galaxy, because there is a dark ray there. And I think Ben is good in that one. So they've already kind of done that. But that's where I'm curious to see where they go with her dark side lineage, because again, in the legends, Luke went to the dark side and trained under Palpatine when he came back, because Luke wanted to learn the entirety of the Force. So he willingly gave himself to the dark side and became bad. So I mean, I'm curious to see what, if anything, they do end up doing with Rey in that sense. No, no, no. That's the expanded universe legend stuff. Yeah, that's why Lego's freaking awesome. Because even the Rebuild the Galaxy is multiverse. That is another. And they literally said that. They talk about. My nose is itchy. Um, they they literally talk about the multiverse theory, and that how there's just tons of different multiverses out there, and that they're just one of them. And oh, absolutely, like Lego the Skywalker saga, like all those, it's just goofy and funny, which is just awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And they don't even really go into detail about how many people showed up for that final fight, as far as who was a part of it, other than certain characters, obviously. But hey, hey, Zuri. But even then, like, people from Starfighter are probably going to be, in this scene or whatever, right? Like there's so much they could expand into, like, leading into this fight and whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just awesome. Nothing will stop the return of the Sith. Yep, there's Mr. Crackly Fingers, literally just zappity zappeting everything. And Ray's just sitting there watching everybody and all the chaos unfold. See, the questionable thing that I've heard people also talk about is that when as you hear all the voices talking, you hear Mason there. What? Force will be with you always. Let your death. Yeah, Palpatine really kind of screwed them up bad. I am all the Sith. What's really cool though is that it's two blue-bladed lightsabers. And Ray just casually like mass murders like thousands of cultists. That's so freaking epic where he just stands there at the bridge and you just see this like from inside out. They're still on that command ship. Not as fast as this ship. That is kind of cool how Lando gets to fly the Falcon with Chewie, though. I mean, like they literally destroyed like a whole other army right there in that one shot with all the help that they got. So he could feel her life force falling. So Ray did die right there. And Kylo is just like totally messed up. Yeah, I'd agree, Hunter, for sure. Yeah, you never know what they're gonna do with those two. I mean, seriously. Because even after what she did with Palpatine right there, I still believe he had some kind of backup plan. If in case of his defeat or death again. Like not to say that he won't necessarily be coming back again, but I think his spirit still lives on somehow. Like his consciousness and his entity, I think, still live on. Like that's not the ultimate last time we will ever see Palpatine, I think. Yep, she did. Yeah. And there's the kiss. He's got that swagger like his dad. Why didn't you force heal me? I know. Because they were in the ancient Jedi texts, which were on the planet that Luke found that nobody knew about or forgot. Just think of the Jawas would have a field day on that planet. With all that wreckage. That's what I meant by Anakin would be sitting there going oh, come on. Look. That's what I wanted to do to Padme. Was she'd be dying and then I'd give her my life force and she'd live and we'd be happy. Nope. That's not the story for you, sir. And I love the little flashbacks to there was Bespin, there's Andor. Andor. I got Andor on the brain. Andor. Jakku. They never show Coruscant. They do not show Coruscant, though, unfortunately. Oh, Chewie gave Rose a big old hug. That's awesome. Poe's like, eh? He's like, no. Bring back Ben Solo. I mean, after watching this again and just that little teaser of they would have had a relationship, it's like you want to see more. There's got to be something more. Hunter's absolutely right, and now we wait till a new evil comes up. That's why I'm really, really, really curious to see what is going to be the next big bad for the new Jedi Order series, because the galaxy got invaded by the Yuzhan Vong. We know that was a huge 20 book saga that happened for the Star Wars universe for the new Jedi Order series, essentially, and it's there was craziness that definitely happened there, and yeah. That's so awesome that Lando just when he asks, where are you from, kid? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, well, let's find out. Let's go on an adventure. And she's like, okay. Yeah, the craziness is real. After all that, to finally meet up after the fact, knowing what they did, it's just got to be insane to think of. Just absolute insanity. All right, we're ending it. The Skywalker saga. Going back to where it began, from A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4. Flying past those Jawas. You know there's a Jawa on a ship somewhere with a crew, or those sand crawlers have jets on them, and they're jumping to hyperspace to Exegol. Grill is back with us. What's up, dude? We are just wrapping up, literally, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I just commented on how the Jawas are probably in a sand crawler that has a hyperdrive on it, going after Exegol and all that nice trash and loot from over there. But Grill, I hope you're having a great and safe week, man. How are you doing, sir? Ray's just gotten back to the Lars homestead where it all began. Working and lurking? Well, that works too, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. I hope your week and work and family are all doing well, sir. Here's the part. I'm Ray. Ray who? It's so sad to see our princess. Ray Skywalker. Dun, 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 dun. And that's it. Ben's Force Ghost wasn't there. Theories. I mean, theories. I mean, it is crazy to think, but yeah. I mean, Hunter says, hang on one second. As I get my earbud out. That definitely is a better way than I was doing it before. Hunter says I was in the movie theaters when they booed that part. I think I was probably too. I did see all these in the theaters, yes. But yeah, that is it, guys. If you can freaking believe it, 9 episodes of the podcast, the first 9 episodes of Star Wars, the Skywalker saga episodes 1 through 9, all freaking done. Dude, everybody else, awesome for Mandalore. Round of applause. That is freaking crazy awesome, guys. What a freaking accomplishment. I mean, seriously, we actually sat and watched all 9 episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which includes right from the very beginning, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 4, A New Hope, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Episode 8, The Last Jedi, and Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. We've actually sat and watched it, all of them. So, oh, some people actually walked out so fast. I've never seen people move that fast. Grill has a great question. what is next. I will tell you exactly what is next. So, and I don't have the poster to put up, unfortunately, because I didn't grab it yet, but I will. So now that we are officially done, again, doing all 9 episodes of the Skywalker saga, greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for the support as always, for sticking around for the podcast. This kind of being new, different kind of format, but at the same time, super fun to be able to chill, chat, hang out, vent. Tell me your feelings. That's what this podcast and talk show is basically all about, is just what we're watching and just going off about it, and good, bad, indifferent, whatever. Close. So basically what's next? What's next? Starting next week, we are going to watch the next movie in the Star Wars catalog. Well, one of the next movies is Solo, a Star Wars story. That's going to be next, because after we do next Wednesday's Solo, a Star Wars story, we're going to be doing Andor, because I have seen Andor season 1. I have barely started Andor season 2, meaning I think I'm only like 2 episodes into season 2. I have seen Rogue One. However, we're going to do a full rewatch of Andor seasons 1 and 2, and then watch Rogue One to end it all off. And then after Andor, we'll figure it out. So ultimately, the concept was we'll do, for the first 9 episodes of the podcast, the first Skywalker saga episodes, all of them actually, all 9. And then Solo, a Star Wars story, Andor season 1 and 2, and then move on to Rogue One. And then after that, we'll see after the fact. But yep, we still got some time left to figure all that kind of craziness out. But yeah, ultimately wish I'd found your channel sooner. Okay, thank you for your time and effort and just the support. It's been awesome, and your input. I mean, like I said, some people just like to chill and lurk, and that is perfectly fine. Nobody has to engage. Nobody has to, throw in their 2 cents.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
I just added that one, actually. But yeah, ultimately, again, like, I want everyone to be comfortable, be, as casual as you possibly can, meaning whether you just want to sit here and just listen to us blather on about this, that, or the other during the podcast, or when we're playing games and just chatting regularly about this, that, or the other, that kind of deal, that is perfectly fine as well. The known Dark Senate Imperial Overlord, are you actually live, or is this recorded? This is live, actually. Oops, as I just knocked the mic over. This is live. This is me live, yes, with the hands and the lightning fingers. My purple nail polish is falling off, though, however. But yes, this is live. We are officially live cosplaying. Yes, I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi on Twitch, dual streaming Twitch and YouTube. I have dust on my sleeve. Probably. Very dusty here. And I left my coat on the ground. But thank you for noticing, though. I appreciate that. I need to do a once over on this. But thank you, Known Dark Senate. I appreciate that, sir. But yes, I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi, streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. Stream days are Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday night is my podcast, which is this right here. We interactive chat and talk during a live watch party of the current whatever we're watching. And right now we just finished with Rise of Skywalker right there. But yeah, ultimately Thursday nights is a Let's Play. I do Dark Souls Remastered right there. Thank you for that follow, man. I greatly appreciate it, dude. Friday nights is kind of going to be kind of more of a mixed night. I just got back into some MMOs and things like that. And then same thing with Saturday. Normally I'm playing like Star Wars Battlefront 2, Sunday's Dead by Daylight. But yep, I'm normally streaming Wednesdays through Sundays. But yeah, man, again, I hope you're having a great and safe week in your part of the galaxy. Normally what I've been doing for a very long time was actually just having a pre-recorded cosplay loop, just because I wasn't doing the webcam, the live webcam, as often as I used to when I first started streaming. But I've kind of more or less within the last couple of months brought the live webcam back just to be a more interactive experience. But no, thank you, man, for that support. Greatly appreciate it, sir. But yeah, um, I am a cosplaying Mandalorian Jedi that dual streams actually, because I save all my, because Twitch doesn't allow you to save your VODs for that much long. So I use YouTube as actually a holocron and have everything loaded over there too. But you expanded a D&D campaign to 8 groups, 40 plus players, still Star Wars. That is freaking awesome, man. Yes. Yes. That is very cool. That is still very, very cool, man. Yes, please have great adventures, man. That's all it's about is story, 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 story. I've always been a pusher on, you know, story. 8 to 10 great DMs. That is freaking awesome, man. That is very, very freaking cool.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
But still want to get you to reconsider the offer joining one day. I absolutely would. I absolutely would, to be honest. It's just time frame, scheduling, time. It's just it's rough. It's absolutely rough at this point in time, but I again never say never. Um I was a bit nervous. Sorry, Kay. I did not see this right now. I was talking to the known Dark Senate for a second. I was a bit nervous that this would be yet another negative channel, but you seem to have found actual balance in the Force. That's refreshing. Asylum is an accurate description, and that's what I mean. Is that like for me, and just the way like I've always wanted to represent the channel is Darth Asylum isn't necessarily a person. Let me put it to you that way. It's a place, and people can be a Darth Asylum too, like a place of comfort and protection and safety from the darkness, which is why Darth means dark and asylum means protection. So it's like dark asylum, essentially, or dark protection, I guess would be the overall translation. And before I used to say, it's not a person, it's a place. But then I rethought that and was like, well, actually, it can be a person because, anybody can be a person that's helping protect, from the darkness and giving, protection and things like that. Um, I'm actually surprised you trust us to see you live. No. Again, I always, 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 always say you guys are the legends. It is always an honor and a privilege for me to hang out and know all of you. Please remember that. No take backsies, infinity, infinity. But yes, it was because even when I first started streaming too, like I was live wearing the helmet and the armor and everything like that. And then over time, it just got to be a little much, even with the younglings and everything. So it's like it was easier for me to kind of like scale that down. So this is how I actually would live stream, is just like this, you know. And then after a while, once I did the pre-recorded loop, I changed it and kind of kept that way. I was more available, I should say, while I streamed in case, anybody needed me from my, side anyway. And it's just what worked for me, obviously, and what works for everybody else doesn't work for everybody, but at the same time, for me personally, it worked. And then after a long hiatus, basically break, after a while, I was just like, you know what, it would be fun to actually come back to a live format, and once I've done that, it's made things just that much more funner. Not to say that it hasn't been fun. It's absolutely been a blast and great, because I get to meet all of you guys. I get to hang out with all of you guys and just talk again and chat and chill and just hang out in general. And we all get to know each other and share our passions for what we truly, truly like. And that's just awesome. Um, it's essentially, yeah. Yes, I do have younglings. I have 3 younglings actually. So yes. um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I said, at the time, and even now, like I've definitely had to take youngling breaks, meaning, because I stream later or late, I should say, at the same time. So it's like, when everybody's sleeping, everybody's comfortable, everybody's safe, then I can kind of, do my streaming thing, which is always late. But but at the same time, it still gives me that kind of fantasy break to be able to again hang out with all of you guys, cosplay, and kind of help bring another comfortable environment to the world, because, or not even just the world, the galaxy, because I always, always, always tell everybody that the galaxy needs more heroes than villains. So I'm just trying to help spread that positivity and give a safe space to everybody. So that way, you know what, we can just chill, hang out, be the nerds we are essentially, and just talk about what we love. And it doesn't even have to be Star Wars either. It could be Warhammer, it could be Star Trek, it could be Warcraft, it could be whatever, Lego, Lord of the Rings, it could be anything out there, sci-fi, fantasy, whatever, mystery, horror, it's like there's just so much cool stuff out there that's just so fun to just talk about and hang out about, and just just get excited about. And like when we start talking cosplay, that's when you really see me get fired up. And then you know
Do or do not. There is no try.
yep, yep. And that's why Domino's pizza. It's not bad pizza, I like it. um but yeah, even like even that saying of do or do not, and I love this, and I'll share this with everybody too, again, because the true meaning of do or do not gets lost in translation. And I love reading this to people now, again, now that I found out, or found what, you know, the true, like part of the true meaning. Because obviously it's because even the description says, do or do not, there is no try, is a famous quote from Master Yoda in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back that emphasizes total commitment and action over half-hearted effort. And then ultimately this is what I'm getting at. It says it means to fully commit to a task rather than leaving room for failure by merely trying. The focus is on confidence and eliminating self-doubt. So the core meaning and interpretation is that trying, commitment over effort. So trying implies a prepared excuse for failure. So Yoda encourages doing, succeeding, or not doing, choosing not to act, as attempting without full commitment leads to failure. So the mindset management of that is the phrase is a lesson in removing mental limitations and self-doubt. It emphasizes that belief precedes action. So this is the part that I really liked, was no middle ground. It suggests that trying is just a non-committal way of not truly doing something. Um, so basically, where's the so basically it's either
Do or do not. There is no try.
yeah, so essentially what it boils down to is the commitment of, you're going to do something, whether you win or lose, you succeed or you fail, you still give it the same commitment, rather than say, well, I'll try to do this and give part of a commitment or part of an action. It's like you commit to it fully, and whatever the outcome is, you either do it or you don't, and you win or you lose. And that aspect of it is, like it eliminates again the self-doubt and the try part, basically meaning, I'll try to win, or I'll try to do that. It's like, no, you have to commit to something and accept the consequences, or even just the, not even consequences, but you just accept the outcome. You commit to whatever you're doing, but you accept the outcome in the end. And that's the part that I just really think is awesome. Never give up, never back down. Absolutely. What other cosplays do I do? So funny you ask. So right now, currently, I am actually working on a Stormtrooper cosplay. Yes, an Imperial Stormtrooper cosplay. I'm actually almost done with it. I'm working on I did a full head to toe suit fit. I'm working on the harness for it right now. And I think probably within the next maybe month or so, I'll be able to live stream cosplay with it. Yep. So yeah, I'm actually going to wear it and cosplay with it, but it's not going to be for the whole stream though, because when I wore that thing, it is freaking so uncomfortable that, and even the mask, like this mask does not fog up. It doesn't, because there's a lot of breathability in it. But the Stormtrooper helmet though, however, like that thing is so freaking it's wearable. It absolutely is, but you just can't wear it for like an entire stream of like 3, 4, 5 hours. At least I can anyway. So I'm probably gonna cosplay it for at least, oh crap, yep. I forgot to stop the timer. It was probably about 20 minutes ago. And it wasn't designed to be comfortable. It was designed to look cool. So yes, once I fully put on everything, I mean helmet, neck, chest, back, arms, gauntlets, front, back, or like, your torso, the kidney guard, everything, thigh armor, leg armor, boots. I mean, it was like you were just sitting there just like I mean, like I said, it's still cool as all hell. It's just very, yeah, it's very awkward, but it'll still be fun regardless. Oh, you know what? I didn't even think of that. Yep, Grave. Yep, we are done with the movie. It is officially done. All 9 episodes are completed. So now next Wednesday is going to be Solo, a Star Wars story, and then the following Wednesday will be Andor season 1. Yep. So I'm thinking with the episodes being probably an hour and a half or about 40, 45 minutes or so, I'm thinking we'll probably do at least 2 episodes at a time per pod. That way, at least it kind of cuts down from the like 2.5 to 3 hour streams, So that way it can be like a scaled down podcast of like, a good hour, hour and a half, that kind of thing. That way it's not too crazy. Yeah. But yeah, ultimately, the Skywalker saga is completely done, all the way 1 through 9. Yes, it is over. But now we can move on to newer and other things. So yeah, that's the general plan for now, is to do Solo, a Star Wars story, and then after that we'll do Andor seasons 1, season 2, Rogue One, and then after that I'll look into ultimately figuring out, okay, what are we going to do after that? So we'll see. We will see, but there's still plenty of time to figure it out, because even looking at I think they're both, let's see, yeah, I looked them up not too long ago, but yeah, so basically 2 seasons, total of 24 episodes, so there's 12 episodes each. I mean, each episode runs roughly around 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes, so 2 episodes worth is going to be a solid hour and a half at least. So yeah, I mean, and we'll do like a mini break in between. So I'm thinking the pod's probably going to be more or less around like a 1.5 to 2 hour-ish mark, rather than like a 2.5 to 3.5 hour mark, just because of intros and outros and all that stuff in the in between, and just kind of the aftermath. But that's fine too, because I mean, that's the whole point, is us chatting with each other and doing all this fun, crazy stuff. Yeah, and I have not seen season 2. Like I said, I've ultimately started. I have started season 2, but I've only been like 2 episodes deep into it, and that was it. And I've already forgotten what those ones were about. So it'll still be very cool and refreshing to actually go through and watch the first one, and actually watch the second one for the first time ever, and then watch Rogue One because I've seen Rogue One before, but it's like I can't remember it. I just know generally what happens. You know, Vader scene, end of the movie, that kind of thing. So it's like it's going to be cool to see the build up from that. Absolutely. I've been, man, like I said, my schedule is just crazy, and I am so backed up on a ton of stuff. And this is probably, honestly, thinking out loud, and it's probably not even just going to be Star Wars, to be honest with you. This is probably going to be my go-to to watch everything that I just have not gotten a chance to sit down and watch. It probably, honestly, really is, because I like this format of a podcast that we can actively talk not just about random subjects, but it keeps us kind of more on point about what exactly we're doing. And in general, it's like I like the idea of us kind of like all watching together in a live stream format. So it's like fresh, it's new, you know, we can remember, you know, as things come and happen, talk about stuff. I mean, literally this they go pew pew and save the galaxy. Yeah, exactly. But no, seriously, I am so freaking stoked that, you know, like starting the podcast and having this kind of format with it, one doesn't, you know, make me have to think, okay, great, you know, what's the topic going to be for this week? And, you know, how long is it going to be? And just sort of thing. It's like a lot of things kind of more or less fall into place. And it's also helped, you know, everybody else kind of, you know, be able to, we can all do something kind of together. Because I know like on Discord, you can do watch parties and things like that, which is totally fine. But it's like, I love this format of like a live stream watch party, essentially. So those who can watch, that's awesome. Those who can't, that's totally fine. You know what we're watching because I post it. There's an episode timer that's always in the corner, and ultimately, or a timer, I should say, a timestamp over there. So ultimately, you know, we can still interact with each other. If you have something to say about it, whether it be negative or positive, whatever, doesn't matter. That's the whole point, is I want to hear what you guys have to say and be able to interact. So no, it's just been a really, really, really cool and great experience. It absolutely has. Dom pretty much summed it up. That's the entire anything. Star Wars saga, Star Trek saga, they go pew pew, and you know, something bad happens and then somebody has to go save it, and then something bad happens and the bad guys win, and then, you know, the good guys are like, nah, you know. Well, even though I didn't watch the movie with you, I enjoyed hanging out. Well, thank you, Grave. Again, yes, it's more, again, it's more of a perfect reason to be able to just share the enjoyment, or in this case, non-enjoyment, depending on your stance for what it is we're watching or doing. Now I can't even do the hand thing. Yes, for what it is we're currently watching or talking about. So no, that is perfectly fine. And I would absolutely want you to finish up your projects rather than just hang out all night and just watch a stream. You got to do your homework, man. This is exciting. No, and I appreciate that, Kay. You know, I mean, because like I said, I mean, I've wanted to do a podcast for the longest time, and I upload these podcasts on iHeartRadio and Spotify, so they are officially there too. On my Twitch About page, it is there. I actually need to add that, which reminds me, I need to add that on, or these pod links to my YouTube page also, because those are linked in, or I do upload these to iHeartRadio and Spotify. So they are on there. And even saying that is just a crazy weird thing to say and be like, I have a podcast and it's on iHeartRadio and Spotify, even though if you record something, you can upload it. It's not like it's anything special. It's just some other platform to be able to have your stuff on, but still, you know. But yeah, absolutely. It's just been a really cool, exciting thing to start as a new project. But at the same time, like I said, be able for all of us to interact, and not that all the streams are the exact same concept, because they are. It's like a stream is exactly what it is. It's a show. It's interacting with the person that's you're engaging with, but at the same time interacting with everybody else. So it's not just about the streamer, you know, it's about you guys and everybody just kind of interacting and talking and chatting and just all that good stuff. Or not. Or just enjoying the show from, you know, lurking and things like that, which is totally absolutely fine too. So no, this has been super, super cool and a really fun time. It really has been. But let us see. Wow, Shadow's still freaking on, man. Well, Well, if Shadow's still on, then you know what? We're gonna raid Shadow. So that is absolutely what we are going to do. So again, thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been crazy freaking awesome to be able to say we have done 9 episodes of the podcast. We have officially watched all 9 episodes of the Skywalker saga. We will be back next week, next Wednesday, with Solo, a Star Wars story. But yeah, stream days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually trying to start, and I say trying in the sense, but I either do or I don't. I should say more or less. Around midnight my time, that's Pacific West Coast time. Wednesday night is the podcast. Thursday night is my Let's Play. Currently, right now, we are doing Dark Souls Remastered. Friday night is starting to turn into more of a multiple games type night. Normally, I'd be playing Battlefield 6, but at the same time, now it's like I'm getting back into Warcraft and MMOs and other games like Fallout 76 and things like that. So it's just been awesomely great and cool to be able to just share the time with everybody, and also, you know, the games, and just kind of, you know, break free from, you know, the standard and kind of jump back into like some old worlds like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. It's just been like a total Force Awakening. Thank you, Kay, for your support, obviously, and everybody else who stuck around to just hang out, enjoy the chat, and yeah, just again, the podcast is a little different of a stream just because there's nothing really action oriented going on other than like the redeems popping up. But at least, you know, the way I formatted this is it is a talk show, it is a radio show, and it is about us talking with each other and interacting and things like that, more focused than a normal stream where if there's gameplay and things like that going on and stuff like that. But at least, again, I just love the way this format is working out and just having a really great time. But thank you again. Oh, Shadow just finished. Okay. Yeah, no worries, man. That is perfectly fine. Well, that is okay. Then we can just wrap things up. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty crazy late for him to still be on, because normally he'd be finished way by now, but he must have still been going on for a while. Let's see. Oh well, maybe next time. I mean, honestly, Shadow's never on longer than I usually am, so I never get a chance to do that. So that's okay. That's okay. We will definitely do that next time then. But yes, again, so anybody new and returning to the stream, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, you awesomely beautiful people of the galaxy, and welcome again to another episode of the Darth Asylum podcast. This happens to be episode number 9. I am your host of Darth Asylum, broadcasting live from hyperspace. And yes, from episode 9, we have watched episode 9 of Star Wars. That is the Rise of Skywalker right there. For those of you that did stick around to watch it, actually physically watch it, that is perfectly fine. And if you didn't, Brave, I'm looking at you for doing your homework. Good job, sir. But no, thank you guys again for your support. Thank you guys for being the awesome legends that you always are. No take backsies, infinity. But yes, this is another episode down of just not only the podcast, but a milestone of a podcast, because we finally actually sat and watched all 9 episodes of the Skywalker saga. So congrats, guys. That is crazy freaking awesome. We get to come back, watch some more stuff. And like I said, honestly, the way the podcast is working, it's probably going to be my focus to actually be able to sit and watch stuff, which includes actually like TV shows, movies, things like that. So don't be surprised if we round back into the world of Marvel and I finally start to watch all the Marvel movies and shows that I've missed all throughout this entire time. So Um, yeah. Oh no. It's awesome, man. Thank you guys for again hanging out. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for being the awesome legends that you always all are. Again, shout outs to Hardcore Robbie for that raid. Thank you very much, man, and all the raiders that came along with him for sticking around. Greatly, thank you guys very much. Yes, so I will be back later tonight, which is officially my Thursday now. Later Thursday night, that is for me. I am Pacific West Coast time, so I will be coming back with some Dark Souls Remastered. So
May the Force be with you.
time for some more death runs in that sense, but making some progress in Dark Souls, which is very cool. So no, we'll be doing that later tonight. So basically Wednesday nights is always the podcast for me because I do stream Wednesday through Sunday, so officially 5 days at this point, which is crazy enough as it is. But Wednesday night is the podcast. Thursday through
May the Force be with you.
Sunday is the gaming streams, I should say. So again, no, it is always crazy awesome. May the Force be with you guys as always. But no, thank you guys again for being the awesome legends that you all are. Thank you guys again for the support, and we will catch you guys all next time. So until then, be good, be safe, love you, and talk to you.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yup!
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
And here we go.